Uh, yes, welcome back, students. Let us start with today's class. A design of welcome to the lecture series on design of RC structures and steel structures. Subject code 17CV72. We are in Model 1 and lecture number 10, presented by Professor Girish Chaudhary, Department of Civil Engineering, KLS Vidyati, Halaya. In the previous class, last class, we have studied about the design of counterfort retaining wall, definition of counterfort retaining wall, what it means, its components, what are to be the design steps, and the components, how they are designed, individual components, what are the criteria, and when you are going to use this counterfort retaining wall, when with the only retaining wall. That all will be studied in the yesterday's class. And today we are going to take one problem on this and analyze the counterforce so that it will be easy for you to go through the things what you are going to learn. Because just by saying that we are going to do this means it will be not clear for you people exactly what to be known. Once we analyze any one of the problem, you will come to know the things very clearly. So in the last class, you can see here, problem was given, a counterfort was told. This was a counterfort as I shown in the AutoCAD drawing. Stem, heel, toe, and in the plan we can see this is a toe section, this is a heel section, and this is a stem one. At every regular intervals, some triangle beam has been connected with the stem here, stem and as well as heel that acts as a counters in between. So this is we call this as a counterfort to reduce the pressure on the walls. Once we divide it in the counter form, the stem will be designed as a slab as well as the heel will be designed as a slab, because you can see stem, it is connected with the three sides, one at bottom and also sides on both sides. Only the top will be free. Only the top will be free. That's why stem will be designed as a slab here. So we can know the movement for the slab will be maximum movement will be at the joining points where we connected with the stem and the counterfort, where we get the negative reinforcement, and positive reinforcement will be there at the midspan, and the load will be calculated by the formula PL square by 16 at the middle and PL square by 12 at the end, where P stands for the intensity of soil pressure over the stem, and L stands between the distance between the counterforts, the clear span between the counterforts, so that the pressure will be in that. And this is how we are going to find the movement for the stem. In the similar fashion, the heel is also connected with the three sides. You can see the heel slab is connected with one side with counterfort, second side with counterfort, third with the stem, and only one way it is opened here. So again, it is also designed as a slab here. So again, the same formula will be used. Midspan, there will be a maximum moment of PL square by 16, while the first movement at a midspan of the slab that will at the middle, and at the edges where it is connected with the components, there we get a negative movement, which will be in terms of PL square by 12. Again, P is the intensity of pressure and L is the span. Here for heel slab, the intensity will be the downward pressure, which is more over the slab. So it will design for that will be taken as the intensity of pressure. For stem, horizontal pressure will be taken at the maximum at the top, bottom point. Coming over to toe, toe will be designed as the previous we have designed. It is subjected to the outward force. We can see here in the diagram. Toe will be designed for the upward push from this bottom, which is doing more than more. So reinforcement will be provided at the bottom. So it is designed as usual for the downward upward force only. Then coming over to the counterforce. Counterforce we can see in the diagram. I can see you in the AutoCAD diagram. The counterforce I have told they are designed in this fashion. These are a counterforce. For this, the pressure will be from side, from both sides. From this side, there will be pressure. From this side, pressure. The pressure will be in the triangle form like this, because counterforce will be in this fashion. I can show. This is a counterforce which is will be connected like this. So this counterforce, the pressure will be from like this from the soil. At the top, the intensity will be less. At the bottom of the where the heel where it is connected, where we get a maximum pressure. So this will be designed for the pressures. For this, the vertical forces will be done. We can see here for that separate design is there. It will be T-shaped design. Later on, when we go through that, we will come to it. So let us know the problem here. Coming to the today's problem, as the yesterday's class one that problem was given. Let us go to once again. A design a RCC retaining wall with a counter force required to support earth to height of 7 meters above the ground level. See, the soil supported above the ground level itself is 7-meter height. The top surface of the backfill is horizontal. The trial pit taken at the site indicates that the species of the soil is 220 kilonewton per meter square. And this is taken at a depth of that indicates that the depth of foundation is 1.5 below the ground level. The weight of the earth is taken as, that is, density of soil is taken as 18 kilonewton meter cube. The angle of repose given as 30 degree, that is the friction between the soil properties. One or the other, that will be 30 degree, which will be used to find the active earth pressure Ka. Then the coefficient of friction between the soil is 0.58, that is between the soil and the concrete. The frictions will be 0.58 mu value. Then we are going to use M20 grade concrete and Fe415 steel. We need to design the retaining wall. The retaining is counterforce. So given data, when the problem is given, first try to write the given data. Given data, it is very clear. What is given here? M20 grade FCK20, Fe415. Density, it is 18. SBC 220 kilonewton per meter square. Then the height, total height, the small h, this is not capital H, this is a small h, I can say, h dash I can say, which is 7 meter above ground level. Then the ground level below is 1.25. Then the total height will be 7 plus 1.25, that is 8.25. Then the mu, that is friction between the soil and the concrete, is 0.58. While pi value is given as 30 degree, that indicates that the internal friction between the soil property will be 30 degree, used to find the active earth pressure. So this is a given data, guys, that we have got. Next, we need to find the components of the retaining wall. Yes, height we got, total height, H, 7 plus 1.25, 8.25. Then we are going to find the base width. As for base width, since it's a very large height, the base width should be more, because when we check for stability, it should be safe. We doesn't want to repeat the design one side again and again. So let us assume. So the range given for the base width is 0.6 to 0.7 times the height of the backfill. So base width we can see 0.6 to 0.7 means it will be in the range of 5 to 5.7. We are taking base width as 5.5 meters. This is total. This I have taken as a 5.5 meters. And total height it is given as 8.25 meters. Then let us find the toe projection. We can see the toe projection is again b by 3 to b by 4. So let us go for b by 4 will be the minimum here. So b by 4 means 5.5 divided by 4, we get 1.2 meters. 5.5 is the width of the slab, while divided by 4 means we get 1.2 meters toe projections on one side. Since we are assuming the thickness of vertical wall, that is stem, here as I told, it is designed as a slab here, the stem. So the thickness of slab remains same through from top to bottom, but it will be checked for the maximum pressure at the bottom. So the assuming the thickness of vertical wall as 250 mm, that is stem itself. Next, we assume the thickness of base slab as 450. We are assuming, we are not taking. Once we assume, when we design, if we found safe, right, otherwise we need to redesign it. Then the next comes will be the spacing between the counterforce. Yeah, counterforce, there is a formula for you people. You can see here the distance between the counterforce can be found by this formula, that is L equals to 3.5 bracket of capital H divided by density of soil. Capital H is the total height, that is 8.25 meters, divided by density is 18, that is raised to 0.25. When we solve this equation, the length between the counterforce we get is 2.88 meters. That is clear spacing between the counterforce will be 2.88 meters. Since the thickness of the stem is 0.25, the center to center spacing will be assumed as 3.13, say 3 meters. We are taking round up. Actually, we need to provide 3.1 meters. Let us provide center to center counterforce between at a distance of 3 meters. And We are assuming the width of the counterforce. Yes, we need to design the counterforce also. What is counterforce? I told. We can see here counters will be in this fashion, but when we take a plan, we can see this is your counterforce. Yes, guys, this is counterforce what I am doing. Result of words. Counterforce width, which will be in this fashion, connected with the stem on one side, bottom it is connected with the hill slab, and it will be in a trapezoidal shape like this. So let the thickness, this thickness of counterforce should be 400. This is thickness of step here from the plan we can see. So we are providing the thickness of assuming counterforce as 400. We are not designing, we are assuming. Later on we will design. Then the clear spacing provided between the counterforce, that is the clear spacing, that is counter what is available is 3 minus 0.4, half of, because center to center distance I have taken as 3 meters. So 3 minus width of counterforce will give the 2.6 meter clear spacing between the counterforce. This is what you should know, that is L value when we design stem and hill slab. So preliminary dimension has been shown here. So for this I can show you the diagram here. Height, which is given here, H1 as 7 meters above ground level. 1.25 below ground level is given. So total height will be 8.25 meters. We are assuming thickness of slab as 0.45. So 8.25 minus 0.45 will be the 7.8, the height of the backfill over the stem. Next comes is the distance between the counterforce. Counterforce we are assuming 400 mm thick and provided a distance of 3 meters center to center. Assuming thickness of counterforce as 400, we get 2.6 meter. That is clear span between this. I am getting 2.6 meters. The thickness of stem is assumed as 250. Since we are designating as a slab, we are taking only a similar thickness towards the length. That is 250. Then the width of the base slab, that is 5.5. That is also designed by finding the formula 0.6 to 0.7 times the total height. We got 5 point something in the range, so we are providing 5.5. Since we assume the thickness of stem as 250 and toe projection as base by 4, we got 1.2 meters toe projection given here in this. Once you know the toe projection 1.2 meters, the thickness of stem as 250 mm, the total length is 5.5. We can find the length or width of the hill slab. So hill slab will be 5.5 minus of 1.2 minus of 0.25, we get 4.05 as the width of hill slab. So this is the dimensions I have given. 400 is the thickness of this counterforce and provided distance 350. This length, we can see the diagonal length perpendicular for this counterforce will give the distance of counterforce, that is depth of counterforce when we are going to design. And this is a preliminary data what we have got from counterforce. Now later on we design. Once we got all these dimensions, that is if we are going to design the components, which components should be designed? One is the stem you are designing, other hill slab, other is toe, then counterforce. 4 components should be designed. If we are going to design the components, let us first check the stability. Stability, what we have done in the previous class, that is written in what? The stability against overturning, the stability against sliding, then the uplift pressure should be less than this. If these 3 criteria get satisfied, then we can go to design for the components individually further. So let us check the stability of wall here first. Guys, is it clear for you? Am I audible clearly for you? And the PPT is clearly visible for you? Students, I'm asking you only. Yes, anybody answer whether it is clearly audible for you? Yes or no? Audible aitilla?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, visible aitalla drawing idu.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay. When I come into stability, stability means see the components which are acting. First one, weight of slab, weight of hill slab, weight of stem, weight of bottom slab, weight of backfill, weight of counterforce. These are the downward force acting, which will give the moment of resistance, that is MR. That all we are doing. First, weight of stem. Height of stem, you know already. Density is 25, concrete density we have taken. So 25 is the density of concrete. 0.25 is the thickness of stem. We are taking 1 meter width. Total height is 7.8 meters. That is 8.25 total height. 8.25 minus 0.45, we got 7.8 meters. So the total downward force from stem will be 48.75. That is load. 25 density. This is area of concrete. That is 0.25 thickness, 1 meter width, 7.8 meter height. We get total will be 48.75. And we are taking the overturning will be at this point, because backfill will be here. Overturning will happen in this fashion. So it will be taken at this point as a lever arm. So lever arm this time is 1.2 plus half of 0.25. 1.2 plus half of 1.25. We get 1.325 as the lever arm when we take at a moment at this point. So 48.75 into 1.325, we get the moment about T is 64.59. That will be in term of clockwise. It is positive, because if the stem load like come like this and it will act like this in this fashion, it will come and act. So it will be clockwise positive. Next comes the weight of base slab. Base slab 5.5 is width, thickness is 0.45 into density of concrete. That is 25 density of concrete. 5.5 is a width. We can see. Then we can see 1 meter width. Thickness is 0.45. The total volume we get in 61.88 kilonewtons. Then the lever arm for this will be half of this will be acting. That is 5.5 divided by 2. 2.75. So 61.88 into 2.75, we get the moment will be 170.17 at the bottom like this. It is also acting as a clockwise. Next, a weight of earth, which is stored here in the counter force. You can see weight of the earth over hill slab. Density of soil is 18. Width of toe slab, you know already, it is 4.05 what we have found. So the capacity of storage is 7.8 meters. So density at 7.8 meter height, width is 4.2 for 4.05, 1 meter width all along the length into density of soil 18. We get 568.62 as the load from earth stored behind the over the slab. Will be half of this will act at this point because it is in a rectangular shape. So 1.2 plus 0.25 plus 4.05 divided by 2. That is done here. 1.45, that is 1.2 plus 0.25, 1.45. And 4.05 divided by 2, we get total 3.475 into the load 568, we get a moment as 1975. So these are the downward force which acts as a resisting force for this counter force. So our total load will be 679.25. Moment will be adding all this, we get 2210.71 as the moment. We may ask, sir, a load of counter force is not taken. We are taking per meter width, so the thickness is 0.45. Every time it will be not there. Somewhere if I check stability at this point where it is critical in between counter force, it should be safe. At the level of counter force, it may be safe. But if you take section at counter force like this, in between the counter force, it should be safe. That's what I am checking stability at this point where it becomes critical. So the counter force is not considered for the downward force. So total weight, downward weight is 679, and the total moment MR will be 2. Yes, anybody? Anybody having any doubts? Feel free to ask the doubts, no problem. Next, the overturning movement. Overturning movement is nothing but the horizontal force that we can see here. This horizontal force. This all forces, this stem weight, hill slab weight, as well as the weight of sound, all will act clockwise in this direction to resist the movement. And the horizontal force, soil, which will be acting in an anti-clockwise direction, which want to push this entire structure away. That is the horizontal force. That is pH. How we get the pH value? We can know this here. Yes. So the pressure will be Ka into density into H, which will act as a pH we call. pH means this is a bottom force. Ka is active earth pressure, density of soil, height of soil over this counter force. This is taken. This is in term of triangle. So this is base here. Half base times height H will be the pH value. So the same thing you can show here, pH value. After density, we can see the pH value, density H square Ka by 2. That is pH. I told half base times height. That is what area of triangle is taken as pH value. We can write, otherwise if you feel difficult, before writing pH, I can say pH is equal to something. Directly I have taken horizontal pressure, bottom, let us see like this one. So half base times height, 18 is a density, height is 8.25 meter, that is half, Ka is 1.33, that is 1 minus sin pi by 1 plus sin pi. When we substitute the pi value as 30 degree, 1 minus sin pi plus 1 plus sin pi will be equals to 0.33, otherwise it will be written as 1 by 3. So that's substituted here. So Ka is equal to 1 by 3 into density 18. I can write it here like this, 1 by 3 into density of soil. I will remove this 3 here, so it will be not confused for you. Yes, Ka value 1 by 3, density is 18. We can write this here like this. Ka 1 by 3, density 18, H is 8.25. Into square divided by 2, that is area of triangle. We get horizontal pressure as 204. So 204 is a horizontal pressure, not the moment. I am telling you, 204 is a horizontal moment. It is acting at a distance of H by 3. That is, when you are taking this as a triangle, the force is acting like this. This will be 2/3 of H and this will be 1/3 of H. So this will be 1/3 of H will be the, to calculate moment, it will be 1/3 of pH into 1/3 of H. That will be done, pH into 1/3 of H. 1/3 of H is nothing but we get 561 as a overturning moment, that is m naught of, that is negative. So the factor of safety against overturning will be mr minus m naught. Mr is 2210 and m naught is 561. So we get 3.935, which is greater than 1.55, hence safe. If this summation of movements, that is mr divided by m naught, if we get it greater than 1.55, we say it is safe against overturning. So first criteria in stability is satisfied. Come to the second slide, that is sliding. That is the horizontal pressure. That sliding means what will happen? This horizontal pressure will try to move this. Only horizontal pressure, not the movement. Movement will make it collapse, but it pushes slide, and this should not. This horizontal should not be more than the vertical force. If vertical force is less than the horizontal force, it will bring it outside. It may be moved away. It may be taken away from the destination. So what is the formula for check for sliding? That is mu into total vertical force divided by the horizontal force. So mu is the friction between the concrete and the soil, because it soil is opposing the concrete here, mu pushing the concrete. So it is given as 0.58 as a unit given for mu. So total downward vertical force is 679, we know already. Then the horizontal force, we know it is pH is equal to 204. So factor of safety against overturning will be mu into summation of vertical force divided by pH. Substitute all value, that is 393 minus of 204, we get 393 minus of 204, we get 1.93. Again, this is greater than 1.55, hence it is safe against sliding. If this mu into summation of vertical force divided by horizontal force is less than 1.5, it may get chances of sliding, but it is greater than 1.5. So again, it is safe against overturning in the second chance. Next comes the checking the third place, that is it should be greater, upward pressure which is at the bottom of slab should be greater than the it should be less than the SBC of the soil. So what we know, first we calculate the net moment, that is MR minus M naught. If you get MR minus M naught, we get the net moment is 1649. Find the distance, that is resultant of R. We can see in the diagram, this resultant R, where it is there, calculations will be there. Yes, here is the resultant force R, which is acting at distance, which is E here. So this is the X value we want to find, then we get E value. So X value will be movement by vertical force. That only we are doing here. You can see movement by vertical force will give the X value. So X value will be movement is, that is net movement 1649 divided by vertical force, that is 679, we get 2.43. Check that this 2.4 should be less than B by 2. So its eccentricity will be what? B by 2 minus of X. B by 2 is 5.5 divided by 2 minus 2.43. We get A eccentricity is equal to 0.32. Then the maximum pressure at the toe will be PA, which is having maximum pressure at heel here. So summation of vertical force divided by B, bracket of 1 plus 6 E times the B. E value you got 0.32, B value is 5.5. Yeah, W is, you know, already 679, B is 5.5. Substitute all the values, we get the maximum pressure at the toe will be 166, which is less than the SBC. Similarly, the minimum pressure what we get at the heel slab is 80, that is less than the 2.220. Hence, the pressure what we have got at B and A are better than, less than the SBC. And it is that even when we find this minimum pressure at heel span, that note that it should not be less than 0. If it's less than 0, the structure undergo the tension. That's what, to avoid the tension. See that when we calculate the maximum pressure should be less than SBC. In the similar fashion, minimum pressure should be greater than 0. It should not be minus. Thus we can got this one 80 we have got at the toe heel point, and 166 at toe point. But in between at this point we can see at the junction B and C where the stem is there, 148, 143, that is formed by a similar triangle equation. That is similar triangles we can see here. When we draw a horizontal line like this, I want to find this height. So total height by this length. How you find height of this one? I will show you. I want to find height of this. How you are finding height of this? This height you know, 80, and this is 166. You know this height. You know this length. That is 5.5 meters. 80, 5.5 meter, 166. So this 166 minus of 80 will give the height of this triangle, small triangle. This is one triangle. This height is 80 minus 1.66, 166 is 86. This 86 is due to the length 5.5 meters. So for 5.5 meter length, we have a depth of 86. For the length of 4.05, what will be the depth? This is how similar triangle. This is one triangle. This is other single triangle. If you apply this, we will get the 143 and 147. That's how we got here. 83 plus of 166 minus 83 divided by 4.3 by 5.5, we get 147. Apply the similar triangles formula, we get 143 and 147. That is pressure below the stem at B and C. So this is what we have done here. We have found the pressures, and both are well within the SBC as well at more than the 0 value. So the criteria for stability, whatever we found against overturning, against sliding, and under pressure, all are safe. Next, we can start the designing of the component one by one. So which are the three components? We have four components we are designing here. One is stem, one is heel, other one is toe. So coming back to the toe point, we can see here, heel slab, we can design it, no problem. So heel slab, it will be designed as a slab here. So stem is also designed as a slab. So first let us design the toe part, which should be designed here. So toe projection, we know that the thickness of toe is this much. This is a area of concrete which is acting downwards, and this is a soil which is stored above the this toe slab will act downwards and remaining pressure like this. So make it calculate, assume that there is no downward soil pressure, only slab is there and uplift is there. So it becomes still critical. So the intensity of pressure at the B point is 147, what we found. Since the position is toe is too small, it is designed as a cantilever from the stem, assuming it is fixed at this one. So 1.2 is meter. The downward force due to weight of toe slab, the upward pressure due to pressure length AB, and the ultimate movement will be, we are given taking 1.5, that is the lever movement factor of safety. 147 is the uplift pressure at the bottom into 1.2 divided by 2, that is cantilever I am taking. This 147 like this, we can see here. It will be like this. When I design the toe will be taken, only this part will be taken here. One will be taken as a rectangle, other will be triangle. So this height is 147 they have taken. 147 into this is 1.2 meters. Since this acts as a cantilever, so 147 into 1.2 into 1 by 2. That will be the movement at stem point. The same thing will be done here. You can see 147 into 1.2 into 1 by 2. That will be the pressure by the rectangular. And next is triangle, that is small triangle. How we are taking the small triangle here? And this we can see triangle means total height 166 minus 147 give this height. So half base times height, this will be the triangle area. That only we can see. This height minus this height you got. So area of triangle will be half. Half base is how much? 1.2. Oh, we have not done it. Half base times height will give this one into 2/3 of 1 by 2. That is movement towards this one. 2/3 of 1.2 we are taking here. That is done here. Minus of the downward force of your heels toe slab. 25 thickness of density of concrete. 1.2 the width of toe, thickness of toe, 1.2 divided by 2, that is rectangular one. So we get downward force in minus here, upward force upward. Here this should be in a triangle shape, guys. So what we should do, once something is missing, let us take it as first here only. Half base is this one, height is 1.2 meters. This is height, this will be base. So area of triangle will be like this, show it like this, so it will be easy for you to calculate. Half base times thickness of slab as 450, but whether it is safe or not, we are checking it. So D equals to under root of m by FCK BD square, that is mu limit equals to FCK BD square. Mu you know already, so you want to find the D here. So D equals to mu divided by FCK B. So mu, that is 174 into 10 raised to 6, that is taken in terms of Newton mm, divided by 2.76, that is 0.138 FCK. That is 0.138 into FCK 20 will be 2.76 into B is 1 meters. Under root of all we get 251 is a depth required for the toe slab, but we have provided already 390. That is 450 minus of 60, 50 mm cover plus the diameter of half diameter of slab, we get 60 minus. That was 450 minus 60, we get 390. This is the provided depth. Required depth is 250, then we are safe. Now we are going to provide the steel for that. So steel we are providing mu by BD square. What is mu here? Mu is 174.57. This is mu. What we got divided by B is 1000. B is 390. Substitute value of mu by BD square, that is 174.57 into 10 raised to 6 divided by 1000 into 390. We get coefficient as 1.15. So from SP16 table 2, we can see here from SP16 table 2. Yes, from SP16 table 2, what is the given here? What they asked, mu by BT square is 1.15 for Fe415 still. We can check here for mu by BT square, that is 1.15. 1.15 somewhere I am getting here. Fe415 is 0.343. How much you have taken here? 0.343. 0.343. PT value is taken as 0.343. So once you know the PT value 0.343, PT equals to 100 AST by BD. So AST will be what? PT into BD divided by 100. If you substitute the value of this, we get the area of steel. Area of steel, what we got after calculation is 1336 mm square. So here we are going to use 16 mm dia bars for spacing. So spacing will be area of diameter of bar divided by total area into 1000. We get 150 as a required spacing for the 16 mm depth in the dia bars. So spacing we are providing as 110 here. Why means from shear consideration we are reducing the spacing. So once if you reduce the spacing, the PT value will be more. Once the PT value will be more, it will be helpful in increasing the 2C value. So if you
Sir,
provide, yes,
sir, the screen is not visible, sir.
screen is not visible. No, is it visible? Hello?
No,
Is it
sir.
visible? Huh?
No, sir.
No, it is not visible. Visible or no? Hello? Am I audible?
No, sir.
Audible?
Audible, sir, but not visible.
Screen is not visible. This screen,
Yes, sir.
now screen visible.
No, sir.
Now it's visible or not? Hello?
No, sir.
Not
No, sir.
visible?
No. Not visible.
What a problem. Check it.